Saddam Hussein was born on April 28, 1937, in Al-Auja, near Tikrit, Iraq. Raised in poverty, his uncle Khairallah Talfa influenced him greatly. Moving to Baghdad for education, he joined the Ba'ath Party in 1957. The Ba'ath Party, advocating Arab nationalism and socialism, aimed for pan-Arab unification. Saddam played a strategic role in the 1968 coup, becoming vice chairman of the Command Council. By 1979, he became president of Iraq, initiating a ruthless internal purge. His grip on power became absolute, using fear as a tool. Saddam's rise was marked by ambition and brutality. In September 1980, Saddam Hussein launched a war against Iran, fearing Iran's Islamic Revolution and seeking control of the Shatt al-Arab waterway. The Iran-Iraq War lasted 8 years, marked by extreme brutality and massive casualties. Iraq used chemical weapons and both economies were devastated. Despite the costs, Saddam portrayed Iraq as victorious, aiming to be seen as a powerful Arab leader. The war ended in August 1988 with a UN-brokered ceasefire, leaving Iraq economically fragile. Iraq's military emerged large and battle-experienced, but the nation was left economically fragile. Saddam's regional ambitions remained undiminished, setting the stage for future confrontations. The war's legacy was one of destruction and unresolved tensions. Post-Iran-Iraq War, tensions with Kuwait escalated as Saddam accused Kuwait of stealing oil and demanded debt forgiveness. On August 2, 1990, Iraq invaded Kuwait, sparking global outrage. The UN condemned Iraq and the US led a coalition, Operation Desert Shield, to deter further aggression. Saddam defied demands to withdraw, taking Western nationals hostage. Operation Desert Storm began in January 1991 with an intensive air campaign followed by a ground offensive. Iraqi forces were quickly overwhelmed and Kuwait was liberated within 100 hours. Saddam was forced to accept a humiliating ceasefire. The invasion left Iraq isolated and weakened. Saddam Hussein established a totalitarian regime with extreme centralization of power. The Ba'ath Party controlled all aspects of life, enforced by a pervasive security apparatus. Dissent was brutally suppressed, creating an atmosphere of fear. Human rights abuses were widespread, with political opponents imprisoned, tortured, or executed. Ethnic and religious groups, especially Shia and Kurds, faced severe persecution. The Anfal campaign in the late 1980s targeted Kurds, resulting in tens of thousands of deaths. The Halabja chemical attack in March 1988 killed thousands of Kurdish civilians. Saddam's regime was responsible for hundreds of thousands of deaths. He cultivated a strong personality cult, with his image omnipresent. State-controlled media glorified him as a benevolent leader. Despite some modernization projects, loyalty to Saddam was paramount. His rule brought stability through extreme brutality. The regime's legacy was one of fear and oppression. Saddam's control was absolute and unchallenged. Post-Gulf War, the UN imposed strict sanctions on Iraq, mandating recognition of Kuwait's sovereignty and dismantling of WMD programs. The sanctions severely impacted Iraq's economy, causing hardship for ordinary citizens. Saddam's regime attempted to circumvent sanctions, leading to the Oil for Food program. This program allowed limited oil sales for humanitarian goods, but Saddam manipulated it. UN weapons inspectors faced obstruction, leading to ongoing confrontations. In December 1998, Operation Desert Fox saw US-UK airstrikes due to Iraqi non-cooperation. Post 9/11, the US accused Iraq of possessing WMDs and links to terrorism. UN Security Council Resolution 1441 demanded Iraq's full cooperation. A new team of inspectors, UNMOVIC, returned in late 2002. Saddam's defiance continued, leading to increased international pressure. The sanctions' impact was profound, causing widespread suffering. Saddam's regime remained defiant, seeking to lift sanctions. The international community remained divided on how to handle Iraq. The stage was set for further conflict. In March 2003, the US and UK issued an ultimatum for Saddam to leave Iraq. Saddam rejected the ultimatum, vowing to fight invaders. A US-led coalition launched Operation Iraqi Freedom on March 20, 2003. The invasion aimed to disarm Iraq of WMDs, end Saddam's support for terrorism, and liberate the Iraqi people. Coalition forces advanced rapidly, with Baghdad falling in early April. Saddam's government collapsed and his statues were toppled. Widespread looting and disorder followed the regime's fall. Saddam went into hiding, evading capture initially. A massive manhunt ensued, with US forces searching extensively. On December 13, 2003, Saddam was found hiding near Tikrit. He surrendered without resistance, marking the end of his rule. The invasion lacked broad UN approval, remaining contentious. The immediate aftermath was chaotic and unstable. Saddam's capture symbolized the end of an era. Iraq faced immense challenges in the transition period. Saddam Hussein was tried by the Iraqi Special Tribunal for crimes against humanity. The trial focused on the 1982 Dujal massacre, where 148 Shia villagers were killed. Saddam appeared defiant, challenging the tribunal's legitimacy. In November 2006, he was found guilty and sentenced to death by hanging. His execution on December 30, 2006 marked the end of his brutal reign. Post-Saddam Iraq faced severe sectarian violence and insurgency. Al-Qaeda in Iraq, later becoming ISIS, gained prominence. The Shia Mehdi army also became a major force. Tens of thousands of Iraqis died in the ensuing chaos. Saddam's legacy remains complex and divisive. His rule brought harsh stability, but at a great cost. The 2003 invasion reshaped Middle Eastern dynamics. Iraq continues to struggle with political instability and sectarian divisions. The nation's future remains uncertain.